Allahu 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 Allah Allahu Allahu Allahu.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inna alhamdulillahi nahmaduhu wa nasta'inu wa nastaghfiruh wa na'udhu billahi min shuri anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina may yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yahdihillahu fala hadiya lahu. Wa ashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah wahdahu la sharika lahu wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another edition. This is actually the fourth part of this Friday Halaqah sessions that we're doing for the month of Ramadan in this COVID-19 period. Just to recap, the last few weeks, we've actually talked about Ramadan in different intervals. And today, inshallah, we'll go into a deeper study. So if you want to get a full view of Ramadan, please go back into the postings and the sightings and the different sessions. They're all available on Islam 200 YouTube channel. So without further ado, let's go into today's session. We begin first with all praises due to Allah, Lord of the universe. We turn to Him at all times. We come from Him, we worship Him alone, and we will return back to Him, inshallah. We give complete salutations to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his complete family. We emulate his hadiths. We incorporate the sunnah into our DNA, so that on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah, if we are short of any deeds, we can ask for him to include our names into his dua, so we can enter the fold of Jannatul Firdaus. Ameen, inshallah. Today, like I was mentioning, is Ramadan Explained Part 4. And what that means is that there's 3 parts today that I want to talk about. And the first part is basically understanding the importance of Ashra. And Ashra simply means 10. So it's breaking down the 30 days of Ramadan into increments of 10 at a time. It's very important to understand where we are, and we should always understand and recollect that our Islamic calendar should be something that's vested in us. So at any given moment in time, we should know what month it is, what time period it is, and the importance and the virtue of the time periods as well too. So that's the first area we're going to talk about. Second area is basically going to be a continuation of the body, mind, soul purification. And that's something that should be deeper within you. And again, if you want to see the full aspect, go back into the previous session and visit that on your own time. But today we're going to talk a little bit more about the body and mind, equaling into that soul purification, that search that we're doing. The last portion today is basically going to be headed into the last 10 nights of Ramadan. Right now, today, mashallah, today on the 15th of May in 2020, we are actually at the 15th of Ramadan. I shouldn't say the 15th of May, at the 8th of May, we are in the 15th day of Ramadan. So meaning we are right at the middle of Ramadan. At this moment in time, the 15 days that we've spent in the fold of in the month of Ramadan is something that is already instilled in us, and the next 15 days that are coming after today is something that should be highly sought after. And obviously, we all know that the last 10 nights are very, very important. So again, just to recap, today's session is going to talk about these 3 points: the importance of Ashra, body and mind, soul purification, and headed into the last 10 nights of Ramadan. Speaking of Ashra, I want you guys to first take a second to read these du'as with me. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First du'a is Rabbil fir warham wa anta khairur rahimin. This was the du'a for the first 10 days, asking for Allah's mercy. And this is something that should have been repeatedly said in the first 10 days. The second dua, or the second moment that we're in today, or we're in the time period of the days of the second Ashra, are the days of forgiveness. And this dua over here is Astaghfirullahi Rabbi min kulli dhanbim dha'untum ilay. And this dua over here is basically, like I was mentioning, the days of forgiveness. And obviously the last one you can see on the bottom is Allahumma ajirna minan nar. So let's talk about the second dua over here, days of forgiveness. The days of forgiveness, or let's backtrack since we didn't talk about this in the other sessions. I want to just talk about the first day, first Ashura first, and then we'll go into the second and third. The first Ashura was the days of mercy. And when we all know when Ramadan starts, there's a blessing that comes upon us under mu'min. And it's on their faces, obviously it's showing in their stomachs. And it's just something that we're recollecting and we're, eradicating all the months of, improper being, in the sense that we were doing things that were not, truly, becoming of us. So when the month of Ramadan starts, we're looking at it like, okay, this is a refresh button for me. And this is something that I can fix inside of me. Let me touch the Quran, let me go deeper, let me make more zikr. All that happens. And when that happens is when Allah's mercy is befall upon a mu'min. And keep in mind, it's a very important thing to understand. And this is something, it's a tidbit, but it ties into Allah's mercy. Everything that you do in this life is going to be well and recorded, your goods and bads. Obviously, your bads you've made istighfar on, and they flip over to good deeds. But all those good deeds, it's not the point that you can cash them in on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah. Those deeds will help you cash in Allah's mercy on you on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah. So what that means is, and I'm sure everyone's heard this before, this is just another reminder, that it all comes down to Allah's mercy. If Allah has this rahmah and this mercy upon you, He will open up the gates of heaven for you and enter you in. So again, the start of Ramadan is usually in this time period, the start where a person is recollecting, just re-examining, doing introspection. And in that time period, it was Allah's mercy is coming on that person. And just as a side note, if you see somebody who hasn't done much during the year and within your own family, and then Ramadan starts and now they've changed, please do not, ridicule them. Please do not mock them in any means. In fact, encourage them, show them other things. And if you happen to be that person that's the one that's actually now picking up a book, reading, understanding, going deeper, and this is your time period to go and share with others. And that's the whole beauty of Allah's mercy, that Allah is giving you this chance to reconnect. Remember, when things get rough and times are hard and a person connects to Allah, that's a blessing. Now, when that tribulation comes to an end and that person neglects or, disavows, the teachings of Islam or reconnecting with Allah, that's the disservice. So inshallah, when we do come out of this COVID-19, it does not mean that, okay, now you can put your prayer books away and you can go and you live, back your life and all that. No, what that means is that now you have a better importance, feeling that, okay, Ya Allah, you helped us, you got us out of this COVID-19. And now as we go forward, Ya Allah, I'm going to do as much more as possible until my days are numbered in this world. The second portion, or the days that we're in at the moment, are the days of forgiveness. This is the time to make abundant amount of dua. And you can just ask for forgiveness over and over again. And one of the most famous, or one of the most, I would say, talked about duas that we usually share in this month of Ramadan is Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. And this is forgiveness. You say, Ya Allah, you love to forgive. And we're seeking your forgiveness. And remember, I'm going to give you a very simple example. If you do something wrong to someone, right, and you ask for forgiveness from them, right, 99% of the time that person will forgive. But there always have time period where that person will say, no, I don't forgive you for what you've done to me. And that's something that's a disservice, because that turns into a hukukul ibad, and that's between man-to-man relationships, right? And those type of relationships, we should come clean to our fellow ummah, fellow human, race, and say, okay, you know what, if I did something wrong, please forgive me. That should be said every so often. In fact, in the month of Ramadan, you do see a lot of these text messages and social media where people are asking for each other's forgiveness. And that's a beautiful feeling. If you have never asked anyone for forgiveness, you might as well please do this today going forward. Because if you have not done this and you're standing on the out gates of Jannah and you can't enter Jannah because you did somebody wrong and you never asked for their forgiveness, don't let it be that at that moment in time you realize, oh, I should have, asked for forgiveness. Now, some of you might be saying, I've not done anything wrong. Why should I ask for forgiveness? And that's a very good point. But the point is that there are times that we don't know that we might have hurt somebody without even us knowing it. What that means is, even in the example of our beloved prophets and others, they've done things and they've asked for Allah's forgiveness. They've said astaghfirullah. One of the most famous narrations is that when Aisha radiallahu anhu asked Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, "You're already guaranteed Jannah. Why are you making so much zikr of Allah? Why are you standing so long in prayers? Your feet are swollen and so on so." And he said, "No, shouldn't I ask for Allah? Shouldn't I ask for, Allah's mercy and rahmah and forgiveness?" And all that entails for us to say, no, we are not perfect human beings. And there may have been a time where we did something wrong to someone. It might have been just a facial gesture. It might have been something where you didn't reply back. It might have been something that you missed or something that you did and you don't even know. It could be a unconsciously subliminal thing that you did. So please, brothers and sisters, make it a point, start with your immediate family, start with your circle of friends, and post a comment that, look, listen, in today's halaqah, if I learned one thing, and that one thing is that to ask for Allah's forgiveness, and then turn to fellow man and say, Ya Allah, please put it in their hearts that they can forgive me if for whatever reason I did anything wrong to anyone. And keep in mind, Allah is most Ghaffar, that's forever forgiving. There's a difference of Ghafur and there's a difference of Ghaffar, right? Ghaffar means forever forgiving. So when you make a wrong with Allah, Allah is waiting for you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, okay, you know what? This subject will turn. And the old example of the angels, Kiram and Katibin, that are writing down, your goods and bads, when you do something bad, they're going to flip that pencil around and erase it. And they're going to say, no, this person did something good. And keep in mind, every single time you say astaghfirullah and you really mean it, you get two rewards. One, for eradicating the wrong, and two, for actually saying that word of astaghfirullah and getting that credit. So right now, if you're listening to this, please, in your heart and mind, take a second to truly say, Ya Allah, astaghfirullah. And feel it in your heart. Our beloved Prophet used to say this 100 times a day. There's many authentic narrations that say that he said it repeatedly. And if we don't say this, and these are the days to say this, that morning, night, evening, whatever, say astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. And don't get into the notion of saying it so many times that you lose the essence of saying it. The third Ashura, and inshallah that's going to be starting on next Thursday night, is basically the days of seeking refuge. And inshallah next session, we're going to talk more extensively about the last Ashura. So let's get deeper into today's Ashura. The atonement is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We know that. Allah is the one that's going to give us, this feeling of reflection. So now the importance of each interval is basically, the first mention that I mentioned already is that seeking Allah's rahmah. That's the first Ashura. Second Ashura is basically seeking Allah's forgiveness. And the third one is basically seeking Allah's refuge in those nights of Laylatul Qadr. A true Muslim will take as much from this month of Ramadan. Do not let this month of Ramadan pass you by where you didn't take this full advantage. And all you can do, and there's no one official way to do it, it all comes down to you individually saying, Ya Allah, in these days of Ramadan, I seek your rahmah, I seek your forgiveness, I seek that you will take me out of hellfire, and my hisab kitab will be, to the point where I will get passing colors, my books handed in my right hand, and I will enter in Jannatul Firdaus, inshallah, ameen. The second portion of today's halaqah is basically the body, mind, soul purification. And this is basically, a lot of times we talk about prayers and we talk about khushu in prayers. And khushu, simply to just give you an example of what khushu is, it's basically the feeling of calmness and solidarity combined into one in your prayers. So what that means is that you might have prayed a prayer once, at least, I'm hoping, in your lifetime where you were totally committed into your prayers. No distractions. The minute you said Allahu Akbar and you went into your prayer, you didn't think about the worldly things. There was no whispering of shaitan for that moment. There was no other thought. And all you were thinking about were the ayahs of Surah Fatiha. And when you were saying them, you were saying, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. And you were thinking, all praise is due to Allah. And it was really hitting you. And you were taking your time, right? And then when you were saying each and every ayah, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, and you were feeling, yes, Allah is most merciful, most Rahim, and you were feeling this, right? That level of what you are feeling is a level of khushu. And that level of khushu is such a beautiful feeling to have that you really want to go back and look at your salah and go into your salah and say, you know what, I want to take my time. Let it be a 2 rakat, prayer that you're doing. Let it start with a nafil or something, and go ask yourself that, what, have I really felt khushu in my salah? And when you feel khushu in your salah, you will actually feel tranquility, and you will actually feel closeness to Allah. And may Allah give us the tawfiq and the ability to reach this khushu in our prayers. Other than our prayers, our daily life should have this khushu feeling. You ever meet somebody who has such, spirituality in them? They're always full of, good virtue. When you meet them, they're always pleasant. They have a calm demeanor on their face. They always have a smile on their face. And they're so, heartwarming that when you talk to them, you feel good talking to them. And mashallah, the ummah has these people, and they're true gems in this world. And I can name so many. And mashallah, when we meet them, we feel calmness, at ease. You must do the right thing, and you feel this, right? Well, that's what life is all about, where you should be the one, the true mu'min, the true nur upon nur among you as a mu'min, to go to others so others can see that, no, every time I meet this person of mine and this friend of mine, I feel this calmness, this solidarity, this easiness. It's on his face. Every time he speaks well, and he encourages others. He doesn't demean anyone. He doesn't brag. He doesn't show off. There's no ego, no nothing. And all he's doing is just doing it for the sake of Allah, and it's on his face. You need to put that into your mind. Once you start putting this into your mind, what happens is that it comes from inside out. If you say to yourself, okay, you know what, I'm just going to be the best person I can possibly be, and you go forward in that approach, believe it or not, it will start showing to others. All you have to do is start with a smile on the outward appearance, always have something nice to say, and feel what Allah's hikmah and wisdom that's inside of you that you want to share with others. You want to build that inner peace. And the way you build the inner peace is you calm yourself down, first of all. And you say, Ya Allah, anything that's going to happen is happening by your decree. And anything that happens that's not befitting for me, that is also a blessing from Allah. Once you start feeling those 2 points, that, okay, I can see anything that happens to me is by the decree of Allah. It's not because I did this. It's not because, the world happened. No, everything happens because everything is accountability. Allah has already planned this livelihood of ours already out. Next point is that you're building habits for years to come. And this month of Ramadan, for up until today, up to 15 days of Ramadan, if you have built good habits, these habits should stay with you for a longer period of time. And if you haven't, you still have a chance to improve these habits going forward for the next 15 days in Ramadan. Going deeper into the study of Islam. This is that moment where your videos, your movies, your TV shows, whatever you're into, you put them all on a pause. And you should be actually going deeper into subjects that you don't know upon, and read about them, and read and have a better understanding, because this is your moment to do it. If you don't do this in this month of Ramadan and you keep procrastinating that I'll do this later and later and later, there is no later. This is the later. You are actually in the moment that you've said all your past inshallah should be coming true today. That you say, Ya Allah, yes, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to actually, right after this halaqah, pray my Zohar prayer and grab a book and sit down until Asr and say, you know what? Let the dunya be where it is, but I need to focus on this. And if you're working, then perhaps right after you log off from work, maybe around 4, 5, 6, and you say, you know what, before my Ramadan, before my fasting opens, I need to learn about such and such. And pick any interest about it. If you want to learn about the Sahabas, if you want to learn about, just different intervals of the Islamic history, whatever you want to learn, it's all for you to go and do it. Just don't become that person that's putting it off for tomorrow. Obtaining more uncanny hasana. This is the month, brothers and sisters, that every reward is multiplied. 700 times, some of the narrations say. Anything that you do, if it's helping out at a masjid, with ICNA relief, or if it's helping out, in your house, whatever the case may be that you can do for the sake of Allah, you're doing it, those rewards are multiplied. Take as much advantage of this going forward. The last portion of today is basically headed into the last 10 nights. And as I mentioned, inshallah, next week's session is going to talk exclusively about Laylatul Qadr and the actual odd nights of Ramadan. But today's halaqah, I want you to understand two things. Number one, there's two blessed 10-day periods in the Islamic calendar. The first is basically the 10 days of Zulhijjah. The first 10 days of Zulhijjah are very important. And the 10 nights of Ramadan are extremely important. These two intervals are designed for us to reflect back with Allah. And let's talk about the 10 nights of Ramadan. The 10 nights of Ramadan is a night where we're looking for that decree. We're looking for the night of power. And they're, in the odd nights. So the 21st, the 23rd, the 25th, 27th, and 29th. Those 10 nights that we're looking, those odd nights that we're looking for in the month of Ramadan is for us to go deeper into our qiyam. And what qiyam simply means is to stand and pray and ask for Allah's forgiveness and refuge and so on. So when you do this, you feel this, that one of the nights will be a blessed night of Laylatul Qadr. Now, we shouldn't get into the notion that it's the 21st or the 27th or the 23rd or the 25th. That is up to Allah. But what we should know is that we should make the most out of those odd nights. And if whatever you can do going forward with your work schedule, your family schedule, those nights, if you think about it, here in the East Coast, we're opening our fast at the 8 o'clock hour, give or take. What that means is that Isha is coming in around that 9:30, 10 o'clock mark. Tarawih, if you're doing it at home, is putting you around the 11:30 mark if you're doing it, inshallah, right? And what that means is your suhoor is coming around that 3:30, 4 o'clock mark, or some cases, it's obviously give or take. I'm talking about the whole East Coast here. Now, in that time period, you have only about 3 to 4 hours to spend in these nights. Now, had this been 15 years ago, our nights would have been much longer, where our Maghrib would have been around the 5 p.m. mark, Isha would have been around 6:30, and Fajr would have been the next morning at 6. We would have had 12 hours. And 12 hours is a lot of time to do whatever we can. But in this time period that we have, in this 2020 Ramadan, year 1441, our Ramadan nights are short to begin with. And short, they're not extremely short, but they are short to begin with, if you're doing everything, including your Tarawih, and you want to wake up for suhoor. You only get 3 to 4 hours max. Those 3-4 hours that you're getting, use them wisely. Plan them out. Sit with your family members. Try to have something incorporated. If you want to do, in this virtual age, we're doing all these Zoom sessions. If you want to open up a Zoom session with your family and say, you know what, let's do, a night, just with our family and just, talk and share and, mention something about hadith or, something along the lines that you can incorporate. Everyone, read Surah Yasin. You get one person to talk about Surah Yasin, or you talk to every single person about the reflection of Ramadan, and that will be a blessing. And you do that with your family members, and you do that with your immediate friends, and you do that in such a capacity that everyone recollects with each other. And alhamdulillah, may Allah make it easy for us to spend the nights of Ramadan. You will lose your sleep. That's obviously guaranteed. In the month of Ramadan, your sleeping schedule is always up and down, and that's a blessing. But when you do fall asleep, just a few days ago, I was listening to this clip, and it's such a beautiful feeling that when you do lay down to sleep, you ask Allah, Ya Allah, make this sleep of mine a form of worship. And for those, in this time period in a normal year that we're going for itikaf, that feeling of itikaf at the masjid is still there. But at home, what you could do is you can simply make that dua that you want to make this for the sake of Allah. You're sleeping, you're waking up, you're eating suhoor, all these things that you're doing. Ya Allah, please bless me with each and every action, and make a blanket dua that if you have not made intentions to do these things, make a blanket intention, inshallah. Next week, inshallah, we will talk more about finding Laylatul Qadr and what Laylatul Qadr is all about, the night of decree, better than 1,000 months, and all that, inshallah. So that's just an episode, inshallah, all for next week. At this time, I just want to go forward and first to truly let you understand that the wisdom of each interval of Ramadan is something that we should hold steadfast. As we all know, there were people that were here last Ramadan and they're not here this year. And only Allah knows who among us is still going to be around for next Ramadan. From this Ramadan, you should take as much as possible. And if you would just want to boil it all down, you just want to ask for Allah's forgiveness. You want to improve yourself mentally, you want to improve yourself spiritually, and you want to prove to Allah that you took something from this month. Either it be a deeper reflection inside of you, or memorize another passage of the Quran, or you helped out in other ways that you normally don't do during the year. But whatever the case is that, brothers and sisters, take something from this Ramadan. And I'll repeatedly over and over say this again. Today is the 15th of Ramadan. You've got another 15 days left. Don't dwell on the things that you could have done. Don't get into the competition frenzy with your family members, how much juz you've read. Stop and appreciate the quality of what you're doing, of the work that you're doing. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey of getting to Jannah. This is that time period that you can say, Ya Allah, you know what? That COVID-19 Ramadan in my lifetime, maybe 20, 30, 40 years from now, one day you'll reflect that COVID-19 Ramadan was probably my best Ramadan, because that was a time I didn't have to go anywhere. I sat around with my books. I sat around with my electronic devices. I sat around making zikr of Allah. I didn't waste any time. I didn't socialize, ad nauseum. I just sat there and read and understood, and I read the Quran in English or language I understand. And that you can always say that, yes, Allah gave me that time period to hit that refresh button within me. All this that's happening in the month of Ramadan is something that you should feel inside of you, a warmness. And that warmness should be something that is instilled inside of you. And you want to take that with you going forward. A true mu'min, a true believer, leaves this month of Ramadan with taking as much out of it as possible. And a loser is the one that takes nothing from this month. No productivity. Those fastings that you did, if your prayers were lackadaisical, the whole day of your fasting was topsy-turvy. If you spend more time in social media sharing posts and laughing and joking and watching videos and memes and TikTok and YouTube and all these things that you've done, then you've actually sold yourself out to this dunya. Stop this, brothers and sisters. If you are engaged in this, say to yourself, okay, you know what? Let me just go forward by spending a day without social media and see what it feels like. And in that moment, where every time you have an urge or jumping on social media, you actually pick up the Quran and just read. Just read from the bottom of your heart and just read and enjoy the actual ayah of the passage that you're reading. Just simply enjoy it. Make sure to close out the month with your goals in mind. Now, in the first series, we talked about a little bit about goals and having these, markers, identifiers, where you want to be, how you want to be. Revisit them. Hopefully, you've completed some of the goals, and hopefully, there's a lot more that's in store for you. And make it upon you. And start today. That next Thursday night will be starting the odd nights of Ramadan. Clear out your mind again if you have to, if you haven't done so already, and say, okay, you know what? In the night of Laylatul Qadr, this is my program. Those 4 hours that I'm going to get, I'm going to knock A, B, and C down, and I'm going to make sure that I do all this in time. Next halaqah, inshallah, is going to be the 15th. That's next Friday. And inshallah, at this time, أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله وسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. And I'm going to pray for a dua, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أعني على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. ربنا واجعلنا مسلمين لك ومن ذرياتنا أمة مسلمة لك وأرنا مناسكنا وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. ربنا اغفر علينا صبرا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. رب الناس والشفي أنت شافي لا شفاء إلا شفاؤك شفاء لا يغادر سقما ربنا وآتنا ما وعدتنا على رسولك ولا تخرنا يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين ربنا آمنا فاغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عني ربنا إننا آمنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وقنا عذاب النار ربنا اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا ربنا اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا Oh Allah, grant us your mercy, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, grant us your protection during this fitna, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, give us calmness as we face this trial of COVID-19, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, bring us closer to you, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, we ask for your forgiveness, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, we ask for your rahmah, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, we ask for you to safeguard us, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, save us from the latest tests, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, save us from this pandemic, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, safeguard our children. Oh Allah, safeguard our parents. Oh Allah, safeguard our grandparents. Oh Allah, safeguard our neighbors. Oh Allah, safeguard the entire ummah. Oh Allah, safeguard all of humanity, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, protect us from all types of diseases, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, cure us with those who are dealing with the coronavirus or any other health issues, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, we seek your maghfirat, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, we seek your mercy, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, we seek your love, Ya Allah. For those that are suffering, oh Allah, give them strength, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, give them patience, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, give them full recovery, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, strengthen their immune system, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, protect each house from this azab, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, protect the family members who are dealing with those who are affected, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, grant shifa to those who are sick, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, grant our parents good health, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, grant our spouses good health, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, grant our children the best of health, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, cure our family members, oh Allah. Oh Allah, we have many people in the community who need your shifa, Ya Allah. You grant them shifa, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, grant each and every family member who's dealing with people who need shifa, Ya Allah. You give them strength and support to help them with the ones that are sick, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, grant us all sabr, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, make matters easy for us at home, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, make us easy with our financial hardships, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, make us easy with any types of hardships, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, bring love and unity in each house, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, bring joy with the family, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, bring spouses together, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, bring siblings together, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, let the siblings, love each other for the sake of Allah, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, let the children listen to their parents and become obedient, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, let the children realize their level of adab, Ya Allah. Allah, may Allah strengthen the bond within the generations in the house, Ya Allah. Allah, give us good news from family that lives afar, Ya Allah. Allah, protect the ummah at all times, Ya Allah. Allah, protect all of humanity at all times, Ya Allah. Allah, lift this pandemic, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, for those that have passed away due to this illness, Ya Allah, you grant them Jannah, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, you grant those the highest of Jannatul Firdaus, Ya Allah. Allah, give all the family members who have died in this time period, Ya Allah. You give all the family members sabr in these pressing times, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, please lift this azab over us, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, for all the family members that are dealing with any type of issue, Ya Allah, you give them sabr and sukoon, Ya Allah. You lift their hardships, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, with all the family members that are abroad in different places, Ya Allah, you reunite them with good terms, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, we promise to be a better Muslims, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, we promise we'll go to the masjid each and every day as the masjids open back up, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, lift this punishment, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, we're deeply sorry for all our mistakes, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, all our misdeeds, Ya Allah. All our backbitings and sins and slanders and all the bad things that we've done and so many bad things we forgot that we did all these bad things, Ya Allah. Please forgive them. Forgive all of us, Ya Allah. I make this blanket dua for the entire ummah, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, all the stuff that we did wrong, Ya Allah, please forgive us, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, we're weak, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, please help us. Ya Allah, put your mercy upon us, Ya Allah. Safeguard us, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, give us the chance to reflect in this month of Ramadan, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, make us a virtue that this month we take as much from this month of Ramadan, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, deepen our understanding of this in this month of Ramadan of Islam, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, make us turn back to you with more affection, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, spare us, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, write our names down on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah with no hisab and no kitab and free entry into Jannah, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, Ameen, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, make it easy for us to overcome our shortcomings and ask for forgiveness, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, if we've done anything wrong to people, Ya Allah, you put this in their hearts that they forgive us, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, there's so many people that we've done wrong to, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, put it in their hearts to forgive us, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, put it in our hearts to forgive others, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, we plead to you and you alone, Ya Allah. We don't commit shirk, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, we turn to you in all facets of our life, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, please protect us, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, please guide us, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, please put your mercy and rahmah upon us in these days as we enter the last fold of Ramadan, the last days of Ramadan, Ya Allah. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا إنك جامع الناس ليوم لا ريب فيه إن الله لا يخلف الميعاد ربنا وتقبل دعاء ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Jazakallah khair. Thank you for listening. I just want to take 20 seconds to just let you know tomorrow, this is for the folks that are living in the Maryland area. Tomorrow, Masjid al-Rahma, Baltimore, Islamic Society of Baltimore is doing the largest drive-through session, and we all invite you to come out into the drive-through, and it'll be a huge gathering, mashallah, so please come out. You can pick up your iftar box, and then you can come back and then tune into isb.live on their YouTube channel. Just type in ISB Live, and it'll come up on YouTube. And there's a beautiful program that's going to come out, and I've been told that there's some surprises in the program, or there's something that the public hasn't been told. So please try to make your best to come out for the iftar and then get back home and then log into the sessions, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. I end by this session by saying, may Allah keep you all safe and free from any illnesses, and inshallah we'll resume back next week. Jazakallah khair. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.